Hey guys, welcome to the second season of Lessons with Louis. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I really appreciate your support from season 1. And if you like the podcast or you think someone would like it, please let them know about it, because it really helps if people listen. And if you have any advice or any feedback for me, just let me know, because I'd love to hear it. This season is an exciting one. We have a wide variety of different guests. I decided I'm going to take a more relaxed approach this season. I'm 20 years old. Today is my birthday. It's a bit surreal. I'm no longer a teenager. I'm a real adult, whatever that means. So yeah, we're here and I'm just going to have a chat with some different people. And I was very blessed this weekend because I was performing at Electric Picnic with David Gilna and Fawcett Circus. So that was fantastic, a load of great fun. And yeah, today on the show, we have Charlie Maguire. Now, Charlie is an international traveller. She was just working in Costa Rica in a volunteer programme. She studies abroad. She goes to the University of Kent and she's going to Switzerland to study. And Charlie is a very positive influence on my life. She offers a lot of joy and happiness. And today on the show, myself and Charlie talk about what it's like to study abroad, why she did that, her greatest influences, how it feels to kind of break away from what everyone else is doing, and what we ended up talking about, which was somewhere I didn't think we were going to go on the show. We talk about racism in Ireland and England and how that's very much alive today, and Charlie lets us know about an attack that happened to her on a bus. And yeah, it's really bizarre to me that people are still like this in 2019, but anyway.
And they started like throwing things at me and like shouting like really vulgar things at me, and like the bus was like quite full and no one did anything, so I had to get off the bus.
Have a listen, let me know what you think, and have a great week. Let's go. Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Lessons with Louis. Today I'm joined by my wonderful friend Charlotte Maguire, and we are here in the studio and we're having a catch up because myself and Charlie haven't seen each other in over 11 months, which is weird.
That is awful.
It's so awful because during our leaving cert, our final school exams, we spent so much time studying together, and that's where our friendship really cemented, I feel.
It blossomed
Into a nice education flower.
Yes.
That was cheesy.
Yeah.
But Charlie is a world traveller, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
You've lived everywhere, you've been everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You are a person who is being educated in a different country
yes.
right now, and you just have lots of great tales, and you offer such insight and positivity and happiness into my life. So I'm hoping today maybe you can do the same with some of our listeners. So how are you today?
I'm doing amazing. You know, it's a beautiful day, even though it's a bit rainy. It's still, you know, look at the positive side. It brings water to plants, you know.
It does bring water to plants.
Positivity.
And where have you been the past 3 months?
The past 3 months I've been living in Costa Rica in a little town called Capos, where we did community work with a community of kids suffering from like poverty and like a lot of social issues like drugs and alcohol. So what we do is we bring them into our community center, and it's not supposed to be a school. It's like either before school program or after school program, where we just give them a safe environment to keep them busy during the day, keep them off the streets and doing other things, and just provide a safe and like loving environment for them. So it's really nice.
And what was that experience like for you?
To be honest, it was quite difficult some days because I don't know, it's not, you never really know what you're going to get into that day. Like some days the kids could be amazing and happy and like want to learn a bit, or other days, you know, they can be a bit angry, or they come in hungry or in the same clothes, and it's just a completely different environment because of course I grew up like with loving parents who would wake me up every morning, make me breakfast, you know, like I was very lucky in that sense. My mom would brush my hair before school, you know, different styles every day, whereas like these kids are coming in like unwashed, you know, and not changed for like the last 3 days. So it's like, it's quite sad.
But yeah, often you'd see them wear the same clothes every day.
Yeah.
But that's just the nature of it. And in some ways, obviously, they don't have a lot of possessions, but they value what they really have. Whereas I feel over here, we just, oh, it's fine, I can just get another one in pennies for €3, or they really respect all their material items, which is really good. Yeah. So from coming from there and back home, what has your viewpoint changed on material items?
I mean, I think I'm less inclined, like I don't feel like I need anything anymore. Like when someone's like, oh, I need like to buy new shoes, I'm like, but do you really? Like how many shoes do you have in your closet? Or like I feel like little things that I used to do, like going to concerts or to festivals all the time, even though they're the best times ever, like I just can't justify spending €300 to go and get drunk for a weekend and listen to it, even though it is like great. Like I just can't bring myself to spend that sort of money on something like that when like
it can go so far
in their homes, you know, like that's like a year's worth of food or 2 years worth of food to them. So you know, that's how I've changed. How about you, being like coming back from the Philippines?
Coming back from the Philippines the second time, definitely the first time it had an impact on me. I was younger at that point. I didn't quite realise the importance and significance of it, but coming back this time, all the bull in my life doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, people who try to stress me out for no reason, I'm not dealing with it, because then it's just going to stress me out. And in the mornings and things like that, you know, when you usually rush yourself, I'm making sure I get up 5-10 minutes earlier, or get up an hour earlier, get to the gym, take that little bit of extra time so I don't have this overriding stress in my head, because I feel over here we just get stressed about everything, and there's no reason to. I can breathe, I can see, I can feel, I can touch. I live in a home, I can eat. I'm fortunate enough to have a job and to be educated, so really I have no reason to be stressed. And obviously there's so much going on in everyone's lives, but it's really important to yourself to just say those 5 or 6 fundamental things that you have in your life, and just be grateful for them, and just appreciate it, and realise at the end of the day we have a home.
I think that's so important to realize. Like, I used to get stressed about the small things, like being late to things. I can't stress about things that aren't in my control, and I used to stress about things like that all the time. I used to get worked up. I used to have to get to like the bus station like 20 minutes early, but I'd be stressing even though I was going to be early, that sort of thing. And now I'm just like, go with the flow, like not like completely, like I still care about things, but like things that used to bother me, like I used to like cry about boys all the time, like texting me back, and like Louis not texting me back, and like people canceling plans on me. And now I'm just like, you know, those were such small issues, and there's so many bigger things to worry about than like not going out tonight with my friends, that sort of thing.
Back to Costa Rica.
Sorry, yes.
No, it's not to be sorry for this. I think that's a very like Irishism we have, isn't it? To just say sorry for no reason.
Someone told me that this summer that I say sorry way too often, and once they pointed out to me, I was like, why am I saying sorry? So like it would be like walking, and someone like maybe like was trying to get somewhere, I was like standing in front of her, I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, like, and I say it like multiple times. Also, I'm like, sorry. Do you? And I feel like a lot of people do that
today. I was opening the door for someone, and I said, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, why am I saying sorry?
I'm helping you out, but I'm like, oh, sorry. Yeah. I don't know. I need to stop saying sorry. It's hard though.
Could you walk us through your day-to-day in Costa Rica? You wake up at 6, go for a run on the beach.
Yeah, well, I started this boot camp. Oh my goodness, yeah, with this lady called Yaria, and she is the coolest person. Like this big, like, bodybuilder sort of thing. She motivated us.
Like me.
Yeah, basically, like muscles of steel. Yeah. So we do that. Because I was staff this year, I wasn't just volunteering. I was in charge of like volunteers while I was there, and like under 18s. So my day would start around 6 or like 5:30. I'd sometimes go to boot camp, or I'd have to do like other work. Sometimes I practice my Spanish, because of course they speak Spanish there, but I'm not fluent. And then we'd make sure all our materials were together for childcare. We mainly do crafts with them, so it'd be like stickers, glue, all that sort of stuff, have breakfast, and then we'd walk to the boat and then take a little boat over to the island, to the island, and then we'd just start our day like from 9 to 3 looking after the kids, and have a 2-hour break in between to go have lunch at a local lady's house. And she'd make us like fish or like traditional Costa Rican meals, and then we'd come back, and then we start planning for the next day. And I also did teaching English while I was there, so like if I did that, I'd start at 9 and I'd start doing lesson plans for like introductory students, just learning English, which was, I tried to do more conversational things because they were looking to get jobs. Like it was like teenagers trying to find jobs and like improve their English after school. Which was nice, and that'd be for 2 hours in the afternoon. And
from your 9 to 3, what sort of activities would you do with the young people over there?
With the like young kids, for an hour we tried and teach them something. So we tried to teach them different cultures, because we had volunteers from like all over the world. So like some from Australia, some from the UK, some from America, and so we'd go through the different cultures. Like for America, it was around the 4th of July, so we taught them a bit about the 4th of July. But of course, they're quite young, and English isn't their first language, so it would mainly be like coloring in things and like trying to teach them like 4 facts maybe about like America, like how many people live there, like
$10 founding father.
Yeah.
Father.
Oh, yes, a bit of Hamilton.
Bit of Hamilton.
Yeah, sadly we didn't teach them Hamilton. We just have like obstacle courses sometimes, and like we tried to do English classes once a week where we like taught them like colors or animals or something like that. So it was mainly just being supportive though there, like even if it's coloring in with them, not even talking to them, just being like kind of like like a hand to hold if they're having a bad day, that sort of thing.
And how did this experience make you feel?
Oh, it was heartbreaking to leave. I just become so attached to things so quickly, and leaving those kids was like the hardest thing I've ever done. They like felt like my own kids, and yeah, it did definitely change me. I want kids now, and I just want to look after them. Like I want to go back to Costa Rica, and I want to keep working with them and see them grow up, that sort of thing.
For you, how did you find out about this program?
I think it was like after my summer 6th year, my summer partying. I found.
And where did you go?
I went to Magaluf, Shagaloof.
Talk to me about Maga.
Oh my god, I can't even remember most of it. I think we'd wake up at 2 p.m, go to the beach, have a cocktail on the beach for breakfast, then have breakfast, lunch, and dinner in one meal, that sort of thing. So we were saving money. Then we'd buy like alcohol and go out that night until like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or maybe 6, and then do it all over, wake up at 2 or 3 p.m. So it wasn't a fulfilling holiday, I thought.
How did they contrast the Costa Rica experience?
Very, very different. I can't believe I did things like that, like just like a whole week of straight partying. My body just can't do that. I sound like an old woman, but like it can't cope with all that alcohol and all that like sleepless nights, and also staying in like a horrible grimy hotel, like, and yeah.
Do you know what? It's funny. Like obviously doing the charity work has such more of an impact on you, and it's such more important.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's more important if you can do it. But I went to Magaluf and I loved it.
You did?
I thought I was going to hate it. And I because for me, I had such a negative mindset towards it going that like it was just positive. Mm-hmm. It was stupid. It was ridiculous. And what's funny, my best mate, who I thought was going to be like, yeah, party, was like, oh, I'm sick of this after day 4.
Really?
And he was just like, oh, it's so boring. But I was like on the beach. I was going for food.
Oh yeah.
I was meeting cool people and just.
But you meet cool people everywhere. I feel you're just that sort of person that you find. You have a radar. You just find them.
Well, I met you.
Oh well, I mean, just one example.
But yeah, so I was asking you, sorry, how you found this program.
Incredible. Like sorry.
How did you literally find it?
Internet. I just looked at volunteering abroad, and I was supposed to go to India, but then like the program got shut down, so I ended up in Nepal, and I was there for a whole month. And it was just like by Googling, literally, if you Google volunteering abroad, it comes up, and it's a bit pricey, but it's always worth the money because it goes directly to the programs and like to the materials you use while you're there.
And did you have any apprehension before going?
I was very nervous because I've traveled like on flights on my own, but it's either like going to like my parents or like to a friend's, so I always know people, whereas like when I arrived in Kathmandu last summer at the ripe age of 19, I knew no one there. I knew no one that was going to be on the program. I didn't even know like how I was supposed to get to my hotel. And it was like the middle of the night with like this massive rucksack on my back, and I started panicking because I was just like, what am I doing here? Like I'm 19, I have to travel across Nepal like to get to this place, and yeah, like it is nerve-wracking doing something, but I would suggest always doing it on your own, like, because that's how you meet new people and meet new friends, and it makes the like experience more fulfilling. I think.
And a lot of people are on their own there as well.
Exactly, like people go to meet people and to like kind of get away from their lives, almost like to have a bit of a change in perspective and like and everything. Yeah. As
a young woman, how did you find it going somewhere solo? Because I know, obviously, I'm not sexist,
no.
And you're not sexist,
no.
But I feel maybe a young woman might have more of an issue going abroad solo because maybe more increased danger than a man. Would that be unfair to say?
No, definitely not. Like, I hate to say it, like, because it's 2019 and things should be different, but there is always that fear of being a woman on your own, I feel. Especially when I went to Nepal, of course, the culture is very different. Like, women are a minority and they're treated that way. So for me, walking around in the streets of, like, a small village on my own was seen as unusual, and I felt very uncomfortable at times. Like, not like people making me uncomfortable, but I felt like people were like, oh my god, like, why is she on her own? Like, is she okay? Is she lost? And people would stare because it's quite unusual to see girls walking around on their own, even broad daylight. And of course, when I was in Costa Rica, I was in charge of a group of under 18s, and we traveled around Costa Rica with them and taught them things. And we were 2 female staff, and we found that they didn't respect us the same way as the other group respected their male and female staff member, the male and female leaders. Which is like awful to say, and that was like our feedback. We were like, there should always be a male in the staff group because they didn't listen to us a lot of the time. And I don't think it was like a conscious thing. I think it's just more they didn't see us as authoritative figures, which is, it's sad to say.
You think that's a cultural thing?
Well, we had students from all different cultures. So
Were you?
Oh, sorry. So
what students were you working with?
This was when we had a group of under 18s, like from all over the world.
Oh, okay. And they were?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was locally.
Oh, sorry. No, like childcare and teaching English is all local. And then we have a program where under 18s come across like from all around the world, and they do a bit of construction on like the childcare center, and they get to interact with the kids in the community, and then we bring them on adventure week and bring them rafting and stuff and teach them things about Costa Rica and do PowerPoint presentations, stuff like that. So we had kids from England, Egypt, America,
just everywhere in the world.
Between the ages of 14 and 18.
And they disrespected you.
Yeah, it was like unusual.
That's confusing.
It was because like you'd expect, especially because we only had like 4 guys and then the 10 girls with us, so it was unusual to like that girls wouldn't listen to like strong authoritative women. And also we weren't very trying to be their friends either, so we were trying to like create that boundary of staff and student almost.
And it's annoying that you can't be more relaxed considering they're only a couple of years younger than you.
Yeah.
You think they would have the cop on to just be like, all right, they're 4 or 5 years older than me, but they don't have to baby me, I should just listen.
Yeah, exactly. Like we found ourselves like having to repeat ourselves so many times, and also there's this they were so fragile sometimes as well. I found like I felt like we offended them by telling them to like be quiet more than once, and then they'd kind of backtalk, and we were just kind of like,
I suppose at the same time it can be a very daunting experience for a young person between 14, 17, whatever, to fly to another side of the world by themselves, similar to what you did.
Yeah, but also have like a 20-year-old minding them as they like travel across Costa Rica. Like I understand, like, because there wasn't that big of a difference, they might have been like, oh, like, we don't really need to listen to them, But
like, I would have thought that would have made it easier for them to relate to you.
I thought so too. I thought they'd like be our buds. And near the end, they were the greatest. Like, we became like really close friends. Like, not friends, but like they were so sweet. They got us like presents at the end, and they were so nice to us. But there was just these like few instances where we were just like, guys, like, you need to listen. And of course I hate being like the mean guy, like having to shout, so like doing it made me feel really awkward. I was like, oh god, like they think I'm such a loser. But like I can't think like that when like you're in charge of like them and like responsible for their well-being. So.
Yeah, completely. And Charlie, you've lived basically everywhere in the whole world. Not really, but you lived a lot of places in the world, so could you walk me through where, since you were born, where you've been to now?
Since I was born. Okay, I was born in Nassau, the Bahamas, and then I lived there for 7 years, and then I moved to Ireland, to Dublin here.
Why was Ireland from the Bahamas?
So my dad's from Ireland and my mom's from the Bahamas, but the Bahamas is technically a third world country, so my parents thought it'd be better to get a better education in Ireland, and my dad loved it and my grandparents were there, so my mom, my brother and I moved to Ireland when I was 7. And then I started boarding school, and then I moved to the UK, to Kent University for college, and I've been there for 2 years, and now I'm going to Geneva, to Switzerland. And in between then, I've lived in Germany for 2 months, and like Nepal for a month.
Okay, so why Germany?
Germany, that was during my transition year to learn German. It didn't go according to plan, but it was an experience.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And Nepal for the charity work.
Costa Rica.
And now you're going on Erasmus in Geneva?
Yeah.
Geneva, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And is your course 3 or 4 years?
4 years now.
4 years.
I extended it.
For the exchange?
Yeah.
And why Geneva?
I don't know. It seems so elegant, I think. And also I really wanted to learn French. So I thought it'd be a nice, like, I don't know, it looks so pretty. I'm studying English literature and journalism at the moment.
And what inspired you to study that?
I guess I'm very into the arts, as you know, because I think we do similar
That's
things.
where we met, the National Performing Arts School.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to do like musical theatre and screenwriting and playwriting. And I think it was kind of my backup plan because originally I was going to do musical theatre and then I kind of shied out of it.
What stood in your way?
What stood in my way? I suppose like this is going to be probably the most common answer. Rejection. Like, I hate being rejected. I think like that's like the world's problem like today, like when you're going for jobs. Sorry. I didn't want to go to audition after audition and be rejected, even though you're always like, oh, like you don't know what will happen. You might have a great opportunity. But I don't know. I think there's always going to be someone that's that bit better than you, or like you don't fit the roles or anything. And so, yeah, I think.
But that shouldn't discourage you.
No, it shouldn't. I always promise myself, though, that as soon as I finish university, I'm going to spend a whole, 3 months auditioning for everything and just see where it takes me. But, it's never too late either.
No, at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, their undergraduate isn't what they go on to do with the rest of their lives anyway.
Exactly.
But I think as performers and in the entertainment scene, we're just so much more dramatic about everything, and everything's so much more bigger. Like, if I don't study drama, I can never act ever again in my whole life. But that's not true at all.
It's not, no.
Yeah, so there's so many different doors to open.
Yeah.
For you to see inside.
Yeah.
And what is your dream in life?
My dream? I guess filmmaking will always be a dream of mine, like screenwriting and directing. That's what I want to do a master's in when I finish. I love the cinema and everything about it.
And what's a film that has, motivated you to make this decision?
Oh, goodness me. So many.
Anything, just first thing that pops into your head. It doesn't have to be your favourite film, that's such a hard question.
Okay, Cloud Atlas.
Oh.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that popped into my head, but that's like the first movie I think of a lot of the time, just because it's so beautiful. Like, it doesn't really have any like social meaning or like political meaning, and I think that's why I love it. It's just about life. And I'm still trying to figure out what the meaning behind the whole thing is, but
Life or the movie?
The movie. A bit of both, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I watched Cloud Atlas. I think it was the best trailer I've seen ever.
Yeah.
And then I saw the film, and I get what you mean. It's just about life, but
Yeah.
I was waiting for life to happen.
Like, exciting.
In the film, yeah, that was my only issue with it, but I did really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tom
I thought it was
Hanks.
just so beautiful.
It was beautiful, and all the different time zones, not time zones, all different times in the world you got brought to.
Yeah.
Eras. It was amazing. And what sort of stories would you like to tell?
Oh, goodness me. So many. I love like romantic comedies. I'm a romantic, but also like a lot of black film I've been interested in. Like, have you seen Selma? Mm-hmm. And like Black K-Man?
That's a fantastic film.
Oh my god.
Why can't I think of the director?
Oh, Spike Lee.
Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Such a great film.
Because it's more satirical. Like, it's funny in a lot of parts.
But the scary part, it's so relevant today.
Yeah. It is, like...
Oh, it's so scary.
That's why that's the sort of film industry I want to go into, because I think people, especially like in Ireland, maybe like racism and all that sort of stuff is always associated with America, but realistically it's everywhere. And I kind of just want to bring that forward to people more, and but also not in a pointing the finger way, because I feel like there's two very different there's always two sides, and both of them are so radical, like as you saw in like the Caveman movie. I can't pronounce it.
I think it's meant to be called Black and Klansman.
Black and Klansman, there we go. Like, you have like the very revolutionary black people that are so passionate, but they kind of it's almost verging on the edge of being violent, and the same with like what he was exploring as well. So
no spoilers.
I don't want to spoil it.
Do check it out. And have you ever experienced racism in Ireland?
I actually have, which is surprising. Well, I find it surprising.
We seem like such a progressive nation.
I think I didn't experience. I think my parents protected me from it a lot of the time, because of course they told me incidents maybe when I was younger. But I think the first time that I experienced it and I was completely alone was when I was on Dublin bus, and I was 16.
And the bus was probably late.
it was like this, yeah, it was running late. There's traffic. Yeah. And I was coming back from a friend's house, and these group of like young boys, like my age probably, maybe like a year older, and they started like throwing things at me and like shouting like really vulgar things at me, and like the bus was like quite full and no one did anything, so I had to get off the bus. And like it was the most, I think it was just the hardest thing, because I like called my parents, I called my friend who like had to come and collect me with her parents, and like it was just like, it was the first like traumatic sort of thing, like, and it was also just embarrassing because I was like,
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
And did you take any action after that to?
No, I didn't. But also then the week later I read that like how violence had increased on public transport in Dublin like by a certain percentage, and because I just never thought that could happen in Ireland, because I went to like an all girls like Catholic school, very very white, but everyone was very respectful
and
open. Yeah.
Two girls in Dundrum this week, a man came up and took the hijabs off their head and ran away. Yeah,
that's awful.
This is in 2019.
Yeah,
in Dublin.
It's just disgusting that like there's just a lack of respect like for people, you know. It's not because I can't even.
Who gives a shit? Whatever your skin color is, whoever you kiss, wherever you're from, once you're not hurting me, or
like shoving it in my
well,
like not like
shoving it in your face. You can be proud of who you are, your skin color, you know what I mean? You can be proud of your partner.
But I feel like the people who are like telling other people that they can't love this person or they can't be a certain color is shoving their superiority and their like ideas of life
themselves, usually. Yeah. Have you had any other experiences like that?
I like a few times, like this year I was training for a marathon
in England.
In England.
Okay.
And this guy shouted the N-word at me while I was running by, and he called me other things, like he was like, oh hey bitch, I don't know if you're allowed to curse.
You can say bish, swish,
swish. And then he started saying the N-word, but then like his friend was like, oh like sorry, don't mind him, you know, like it was very odd. Like I think he maybe had one too many. Like I was running one time, and it was a thin pathway, and like I don't know why, it was like literally the worst month for things, and this guy turned around, and I was like, oh excuse me, and he turned around and he spat at my feet, and I was just like, I mean,
what did you do in that instant?
Just went on the street around.
What went through your mind?
I just started like crying and running, and then I called my parents when I got home, because like it's more scary, because like obviously like when I was running, it was like a long, very remote part of like where I live, so I was like, I can't really confront him because I'm a tiny girl. I have very little upper body strength. I just learned to lift 5 kilograms today.
Yes.
So very struggling. So like there's not much I can do. But it's awful. Like in our university, we found that racism has become a thing. One of the societies was banned because there was few racist comments said on their...
What sort of society was it?
It was, I can't remember. I don't know if I'm going to be correct when I say it. It was like some sort of liberty society. I'm not too sure what happened, but it was after a shooting in a mosque, and they were sending messages in their society, like the president's group chat, like the leaders, and someone screenshotted them and sent to this union and was like, oh, like I feel uncomfortable, and the society was like banned and was put on probation. And then also someone like graffitied a swastika on one of the walls in our university, and it was just like, it was like kind of alarming, because like of course I haven't experienced anything on campus, but like I would never think of like Kent or like just like college students. Like we're supposed to be like the new generation of like broad mind thinkers and like new ideas and being more open-minded to everything. So it was like a bit more shocking. I think when it's people my age, I'm more shocked when it's like someone that's a bit older and like more reserved, because I always think of us as like the new revolutionaries. We're going to change climate change and like protesting and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Do you think everyone should be like that? But everyone isn't. Like, no. My brother was at a pub with a group of his friends, and there was a gay couple in the corner kissing. And my brother's friend was like, oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it? I'm not homophobic.
Yeah.
But that's a bit weird.
But it's not homophobic? It's like, weird of you to point it out if it doesn't make you uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, you know, I have friends that say, like, little things like that.
Weird things. And you're
weird things. Like, we were on a bus, and there's this big group of black people from the like we have a Caribbean African American society, which is like a predominant like black culture society. And they obviously had a society night and they're at the bus stop, and my friend was like, oh, you know, black people are just so loud. Or she said, like, it was like a little kind of snarky comment about like how they were being loud. I was like, well, they're going out, they're having fun.
Different people are loud at different times.
Yeah, I was like, they're about to go on party. I was like, and I was just kind of like, what? And then like it made me uncomfortable. And you know, people have said things like that. Like I remember I used to be more outspoken and more like not aggressive, but I'd like try and like defend, like
this is who, yeah,
talk about like what I was passionate about, and people like would be like, oh, you're such like a big black woman personality right now. And then I like became more reserved in my like opinions. And,
don't.
Like, I know it's awful,
Don't.
but like you just do, because I'm just like, I don't want to be associated, like, because it's seen as a bad thing.
And you don't want people to be afraid to have a conversation.
Exactly.
But you're not the PC police. Like, you're
no,
not gonna...
I'm not, and also I'm not gonna be like, that's not politically correct, like you can't say things. I'm just gonna be like, I mean, whatever.
Like, that's very infuriating for you, I can imagine.
Yeah, but you know, you just live on.
You just truck on and
try and change.
I never realized that you experienced these things.
Yeah.
We've never actually discussed this before.
I guess not, because I don't, like, when I say things, like, when I tell people about, like, my experience and stuff, people are like, really? In Ireland? Like, and my friends do get upset. They, like, cry, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, that's awful. And it's, like, it's fine. Like, I think because, like, people call me an Oreo, which is very offensive, but we'll get on with it. Because they say that, like, even though, like, I'm dark-skinned, like, I act like a white person and I present myself as a white person.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means. I'm just like, oh. And I just like that shouldn't be, like, a thing. There shouldn't be, like, a type of white person or a type of black person. Like, we're all just people and we all have our own personalities.
Can't people realize that? Like, like you said, someone running in and shooting loads of people in a mosque.
Yeah.
What is in someone's mind
that makes them
believe that's the right thing to do? Like, what? Obviously murder's wrong, but killing a whole group of people that literally do nothing to your life, they do not affect your life in any way. I actually can't comprehend why someone would want to kill someone for no reason.
Oh my god.
Maybe if, like, right, killing's bad, full stop, but you can understand, I don't know, Charlie, if you killed my wife, I might want to kill you.
Oh yeah, of course, like vengefulness.
Yeah, revenge or something, but like, just no.
Oh, I mean, like, I'm gonna bring it back to the movie, like when Spike Lee's movie.
Are we spoiling it?
No, but it's when one of the Klansmen is speaking about, you know, killing black people, and it kind of shows like a normal conversation between a husband and wife, and you see their mindset. They don't think they're crazy, and it's a weird feeling to watch. Like, it kind of makes you angry, but you understand that they fully believe. It's not like them hyping themselves up or like trying to make a difference. They fully believe they're in the right. Like when they were talking about conspiracy theories and stuff, I was just like, it seems crazy to us because we would never think that the Holocaust was a conspiracy theory set up by people. So, like, it's weird to see that they full-on believe full-heartedly that they are in the right, you know?
What steps do you think that, let's say, people of Ireland or England can take to ensure that they're not being racist?
I think just being more aware, because, like, I find, like, people just say things out of ignorance. They don't really understand the full weight of their words when they say certain things, like when your friend said, or your brother's friend said the thing about the gay couple kissing, or like my friend saying that about like black people being loud, and it's just, they need to realize their weight of words and think before they speak, and also just learn a bit more. Like in school, it needs to be taught, like history needs to be taught about racism, about gay pride, and like we need to like explore those social issues,
considered uncomfortable things to talk about.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I find that it's hard for me to start on this path of like filmmaking for black culture and stuff, because I'm so behind. Like I need to catch up on all the things that I missed out on in school, like that I didn't learn about, that is such like an important part of our history, because it's like it only ended a few years ago and it still continues today in our society. So it needs to be taught in school. Like we need to start young, and just
It's starting. It
is starting. It's just a slow process.
It's just so stupid. Like,
yeah. but by taking it into arts, like by making films, by making TV shows, we're kind of, I feel like we're progressing a tiny bit faster because people are more,
and it's easily digestible.
Yeah, that's.
Have you watched When They See Us?
Oh my, yes. I watched it literally in a day.
Yeah, I watched it all in one bus journey.
Oh my god.
It wasn't a Dublin bus.
I was wondering, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Amazing. I don't even want to call it a TV show. It's like 4 films.
Yeah.
The quality, the detail. Ava DuVernay.
Yeah.
DuVernay? Yeah, she's amazing anyway.
She's fabulous.
Like, that just showed how corrupt the people in power can be.
Oh, it made me physically, like I had to stop watching it at like one point, just when they took like a 14-year-old boy, like talking to him like that. Like, that's crazy. Because when I was 14, I wouldn't have known half the things they were talking about.
But the thing is, not much has changed.
Yeah. You still see it in the news today, like the other day not the other day, it was probably like a month ago, but when that black man was tied, like a rope was tied around handcuffs and he was walked behind 2 police officers on horses. I was like, that's so disgusting and insensitive to like history and how far, it's like it's disrespectful for like how far we've come. It's like completely throwing us back into like awful dark ages.
And what's horrendous is the prison system just sets young black people in, well, America specifically, to go to prison. Like most U.S. prisons are filled with African Americans, and that's what Ava DuVernay, like in her movie 13, I only saw like a brief part of it, but like it was like to aim to show the prison system. The Oscar-winning documentary of that year.
Yeah,
definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. And what's awful as well, that prison is made for you to go back into prison. Yeah. If I have a criminal record, I can't get a high-earning job. I can't get my life back together. You can't do this, you can't do that. So most likely, if you're going to maybe commit another crime to get money, or so it's just horrible. I think prisons, obviously depending on the crime, if it's severe, if you've really harmed another human being, you should be put away and things like that. But I don't know, a minor drug offence shouldn't. Yeah. Do you know, things like that?
Yeah, there could be like a middle prison, sort of like for
rehabilitation. More so,
because even like I'm gonna try not to be controversial, but even people who like murder, they might only get like a 15-year sentence or like a certain amount of years, and they still get to be put back into society. So if there's a chance that they are going to be put back into society, they should have the materials and the resources they need so they can go back and be rehabilitated and not make the same mistakes again. And there's a country that has been working on it, and
it's somewhere in Europe.
Yes.
It's like Switzerland.
It's like
not Switzerland, Sweden. It's a or a Finn.
One of those really nice countries.
One of the really nice ones that are really functional. Do you know, is Switzerland or Finland, like one of them just have like 3 all vegan preschools and like has like little farms where the kids.
That's where you want to be, where you want to raise your children.
Yeah, and they have free education and the families you get so much time off work, and just think like that are smart. Oh, maybe I would like spend time with my family if I have a job. Yeah. But we talked about a lot of struggles in the black community, and do you have any struggles personally yourself, externally or internally? Struggles,
I guess there's always going to be like, I struggle with a lot of doubt, like self-doubt. Like I might be working on something and I'm like, this is so great, this is so amazing, and then the next day I'll turn around and be like, this is actual like bullshit crap. Like I can't. Sorry. You're alright. Like I can't. Like I just might not be as passionate the next day. So I guess that would be a struggle. And also, like I said earlier, struggle with rejection. Like I would be scared to like work so hard on something and put it forward and then be rejected. But of course, like how are you gonna know if you don't try? So I think that those would be my struggles. And
how do you deal with self-doubt?
Through a really supportive like group of friends. Like you were always supportive, and like I just had, because I associate myself with people who are in the same like arts area, I go to them for like guidance and for help, maybe to proofread something, or even just to give me like a little pep talk, and kind of hype myself up. So it's really just surrounding myself with positivity, and just taking your time to do the work, like putting the effort into the research, Like when I start something, I have to like know everything about the subject. I have to read all the books, watch all the movies, watch all the documentaries, watch interviews and stuff like that. So as long I feel as long as I put in my research, I always feel that bit more confident in what I do.
How do you deal with rejection? Because obviously it's a horrible thing to be rejected, but I've been trying to shift my mindset so much recently that rejection is education.
Yeah, 100%. I have to give you this book I'm reading on rejection, actually.
What's it called?
I can't remember what it's called, but it's about this guy. He did TED Talks, and he did 100 things that, like, he did 100 days of rejection where he would be rejected. Like, what would go into a shop and ask for a free donut, and just to have that simple rejection of being told, no, you can't have a free donut, that sort of thing. So I need to give you that book. But
so he takes little steps and then just suddenly he's like, screw it, rejection's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for me, what I used to do is, if an audition didn't go well, or if I didn't get something, I'd go to my mom and I'd cry and like get an ice cream. But now it makes me want to work that tiny bit harder, even if it's just like doing a bit more research, fine-tuning something, or I just move on to a next project. I'm just like, obviously that wasn't for me. I wasn't going down the right path. So I need to change my perspective, go at it from a different viewpoint or like a different angle. And yeah. How about you, Louis? Do you have any ways?
How do I deal with rejection?
Yeah, teach me.
Well, recently I had an audition. And I didn't go as well as I could have. And I think the reasons behind that was, well, I hadn't had an audition in a while because I've been away.
Yeah.
So I was just, in my head in general, the reason why a lot of things that like don't go as well as I could have is because I just rush. I'm like boom, 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 instead of slowing down your mind. So I really think before that job interview or before that audition, next time, I'm just going to meditate.
Yeah.
Just going to have a little 10-minute and clear my head, and then I can really focus and think. Because I think once you can really get into it and not be like buzzing, I think you can really improve yourself.
Yeah. Also, like, I found if I don't hype I don't know if this is like a great way to look at it, but I don't hype myself up for things. Sometimes I go in like low expectations, semi unprepared, and those have been like my best auditions. Like when I auditioned for the like Central School of Speech and Drama, I was like very unprepared. I didn't know what I was getting into. I had like my monologues like revised and everything and my portfolio done, and I didn't really have answers to the questions they were asking me. But I think just being like learning how to speak with people and like kind of create things as you go along and being fast to react to questions is one of the ways I like prepare for things.
Relaxation is the key to everything. Once your mind's relaxed and clear, it makes everything else clearer. Like we said at the start about materialism, it's important to clear the clutter. Like when I got back from Prague, I got rid of over half my clothes, got rid of half my stuff because I don't need them.
Yeah.
If it doesn't bring you joy, if it doesn't, I try to use a 3-week rule, but obviously there's some exceptions. But if I don't use something every 3 weeks, I don't need it. Yeah.
I threw like all my clothes that I've had because I'm a hoarder sometimes with clothes. I'm like, oh, I might wear that in a few years. Like, you know, that might come back into like fashion. And I haven't like gotten taller since I'm 16. So I like kept all my clothes. So I was just like, okay, gotta get rid of them. You're 20, styles has changed. You're a different person.
You're not 10 anymore. It doesn't fit you.
No, like, yeah. So yeah.
Well, look, Charlie, is there anything I forgot to ask or something that you'd like to mention before we wrap up?
No, I've just had such a great time. Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much for coming on. Would you let the guys know, the guys and the girls and everyone listening, where they can find you?
You can find me traveling the world, wherever I go. You can find me on Instagram on Charlie's a Fish.
Charlie is a fish.
Yeah, and give me a little follow. Talk to me.
Yeah, so people can hit you up if they want any advice on Charlie programs or going to university in a different country.
Yeah,
or maybe if someone's related to you in some way about experiences of racism in Ireland or the UK. And
100%.
Last little question, where's your next travel destination, your dream place you want to visit?
My dream place? I'm dying to go to Colombia. I think I just want to finish I want to do South America and Central America. I want to go to Colombia, but also I do want to do Bali, Thailand, like your trip this holiday. I don't know. I want to go so many places, but I think my next trip is going to be Colombia.
Colombia?
Yeah, because I'm going to go back to Costa Rica and visit my little kids at some point this year. So I want to stop in Colombia on the way.
Amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.
I'd just like to take this moment to thank Charlie for giving us her time and sharing her story. If anyone has any questions about Costa Rica or that experience, just hit her up on Instagram at Charlie's Fish. And if you did like the podcast, please leave a review on iTunes, share it with a friend you think would enjoy it, or just share it around. Thank you so much for your support. Have a fantastic week. And if you want to find me, I'm at Louis Max Iswell, not Louis Maxwell, at Louis Max Iswell on Instagram. And feel free to hit me up if you need anything, if you have any feedback for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a fantastic week. A fantastic week. A fantastic